So welcome back to the How Long Can You Survive with One Tower series. Now that we've done all the military towers, I guess it only makes sense to move on to the magic towers, and looks like what we have next is the wizard monkey, since I guess we're going to do this in order. So yeah, the last three military towers actually did pretty damn well. So we're talking the boat, the ace, and the heli. So hopefully the wizard over here can keep things up. And again, same rules as usual, we're going to be playing on logs, with 1020 village at max for support. And yes, before anybody says, just get a MIB, that ain't part of the rules. Now, before saying anything else, you're probably realizing by now that this video's commentary is not quite like the other videos. Well, that's actually because we're doing a post-commentary, yes. So this is not the commentary, the live commentary that's taken from the live stream. Well, the footage is taken from the live stream, but not the audio. And if you want to know why, it's because I was an idiot and I forgot to record. And yeah, I can't just take the audio directly from Twitch because I like to play copyrighted music on my streams. So there goes that option, but I can assure you it won't happen again. Hopefully, at least. But yeah, that does mean we have to go to plan B, and that is to post-commentate this. So I'll make sure to say all the things I need to say about this one wizard only challenge. And I guess the first thing to start off with is, how the hell are we going to survive with the wizard in the early game? And by the early game I mean these rounds 20 to 30, because there's one huge issue with the wizard that I realized while I was playing this challenge. And the reason is, yes, the weakness to a lot of the magic monkeys, aka the purple balloon, which if you didn't know is immune to all fire, plasma, or whatever the hell magic attacks there are, like, so for example, the wizard bolts, the wizard fire, plasma lasers, and plasma from the super monkey. And that's a really big issue for especially the wizard monkey, because as you can see right now, I've got a 024 wizard, aka the necromancer. And the only reason I'm going for this is because there is literally zero other option I have. Unless, of course, I want to tank all the purples, but of course that means I'll just die on, like, round 32. So sadly, this is what we have to go for. I actually had to sell my, 300 wizard earlier in the game, just because I realized, oh, round 25 has purples, so I had to sell that and get a necromancer real quick for that round. And while as much as people like to rip on this necromancer upgrade and how bad it is, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. It's just, it still does a decent amount of damage. The only issue with it is that it's just way too situational of a tower. I mean, there's really no practical situation where you think, hey, let's get a necromancer army and that should solve all of our problems. Generally, each tower has like, or upgrade has some sort of purpose behind it for, you know, you want to get this upgrade for a certain kind of balloon rush, but for this necromancer, there's really no consensus situation where you want to get this guy. Anyways, we just won, and to win we actually had to sell our necromancer for, what was it, an arcane spike. So that's the 4th tier wizard on top side, which does insane damage to mob class balloons. And when I say insane damage, it's legit insane, because it just shreds that mob layer. Meanwhile, the necromancer does absolutely 0 damage to round 40 because it only really spawns undead balloons once, of course, the balloons popped. So there goes a couple of $1,000s of buy resell money I just lost there. With that said, doing this one tower wizard challenge is actually pretty annoying because, literally because of just that one weakness it has to purple balloons. Because in the mid 40s, or mostly in the early game to mid game, there are a lot of rounds with purple balloons, so that also means there's a lot of rounds where, you know, I have to sell whatever wizard I have to get the opposite one. Because the arcane spike is insanely good versus basically everything but the purple balloon, but because it does absolutely 0 damage to the purple balloon, we have to get the necromancer, which is okay, but of course does absolutely nothing versus mob, so you have to sell that whenever there's a mob round for the most part. At least until we get our 5th tier upgrades, aka the Archmage and the Prince of Darkness, both of which we're going to use later on, so don't worry about that. You're going to see a lot of tier 5 wizards in action. But while I'm at it, I guess I should mention that, yes, even if we get the Archmage, it doesn't mean everything is smooth sailing from there, because apparently the Archmage cannot prop purples either. Yes, I was kind of surprised by that, because I thought for some reason the Archmage would, for the price of the Archmage, I would at least get some, purple popping power, but no. Of all balloons, the Archmage struggles versus just that one. So yeah, I kind of made a pretty big mistake during this, run, because I got the Archmage just a couple rounds before, this round 61, where I was basically forced to sell it, aka, rip all my money. Just because during this run I didn't actually realize the Archmage struggled versus purples. So yes, that does mean I have to resort to this new 5th tier upgrade, aka Prince of Darkness. Now without this new upgrade, I have no idea what the hell I would do, because as you know, before 2.0 there was this upgrade called the Soulbind, which was even more useless and didn't do anything more than what the 4th tier Necromancer did. But the Prince of Darkness over here is basically a glorified undead army, since of course it can now spawn like zombie Moabs and BFBs, which absorb a shit ton more balloons than usual. Anyways, there was another new groundbreaking discovery that I just realized during this run, and I want you to focus in on what's going on in the game right now, because what's about to happen is really weird. So as you see, the Prince of Darkness can't beat round 64 at first, just doesn't spawn enough undead balloons at the start. But if you see the second time over here, I legit didn't do anything. I just quit, reloaded the game, and then all of a sudden you'll notice that it's starting to spawn, or it started to spawn a lot more undead balloons than it did in the previous attempt. And I believe that's a bug NinjaKiwi, I guess, didn't intend. I mean, it'd be weird if they intended for that to happen, because it doesn't look like that should be in the game. I mean, I think what I said on stream was that this was a Populous Druid but on steroids, aka the longer a round goes, the stronger it gets, except of course this time it actually lasts throughout saves. So again, I have no idea how this works, but if you look carefully, you'll see that on these rounds where there's like only Moabs and no other balloons, you'll see that the first time around it doesn't spawn a single balloon until of course like the first Moab pops. But then when I exit the game and then join back, you'll notice that the second time around you'll see all these undead balloons. And you know what this does? This actually causes a chain reaction, because so for example, if you don't beat it the second try, you can go back, restart, and then even more undead balloons will spawn. Eventually there's going to be a limit, but that doesn't really matter, because with the Prince of Darkness spawning like zombie BFBs and mobs like at the start of the round, even though it's not supposed to, you'll notice it's going to solo the rounds pretty damn easily. So yeah, I'm not sure what the hell I would do if, say for example, this bug wasn't in the game, because that would mean, of course, I would have to resort back to the Archmage or the Arcane Spike. But as you can see, money was kind of rough to go by. I only have $9,000 right now, thanks to all that. Sorry, selling and rebuying. Again, I should probably embrace it, but I bet it's bound to slip again. But case in point, the Prince of Darkness, or just a Necromancer in general, might be actually really useful, thanks to this bug. Granted, I'm not sure how much longer it will be in the game now that, of course, there's now a video on YouTube, and there's a small chance that NinjaKiwi may be watching this and realizing that they fucked up, or at least done goofed. I wouldn't say fucked up, I mean, this is probably a glitch that fell under the radar, because how in the world would you ever think of this possibility that this could happen? Unless of course you just happen to accidentally discover it, like I did. But now that I know about it, you'll see that I could solo with just this $30,000 approximate tower until up to the mid-70s. And I guess I'll skip forward to that, because at this point, no matter how many balloons it spawns with the bug, at round 75, it's just not enough to take care of all the BFBs. So instead what I had to do was, of course, yes, sell back for an Archmage, because there's no purples on round 75, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, all this raving about the Prince of Darkness and how strong it is now that we abuse this glitch made us forget about exactly how strong the Archmage was, because you just saw right there, while a max Prince of Darkness struggled versus round 75, all we had to do was sell it and plop down a quick Archmage, and you see how quickly it evaporated that rush? Hell, even round 76, taking care of all those Rigo ceramics super easily. Now, thankfully, there's not as many rounds with purple balloons, so I don't have to sell and rebuy the Archmage as much, but round 78 does have purple balloons. So sadly, I do have to sell it right away, even though it's only been 3 rounds. Just for that Prince of Darkness. However, unlike the other early rounds with Purple Bloons, where the Prince of Darkness could solo it with ease, round 78 was a little bit trickier here because the Prince of Darkness wasn't strong enough to solo 78 on its own. Like, the last half of the rush, aka the super clumped camo ceramics that came at the end, I had to sell it and get back close to an Archmage. I actually could not afford it. Yes, I ran out of money on round 78 to afford an Archmage, but thankfully the 400 was enough, or the 401 was enough to beat 78, or the last half of it. But again, once we got that Archmage up, everything is smooth sailing except for Purple Bloons. But I believe round 78 is the last time Purple Bloons come out until like round 95. So until then, we don't have to worry about any of that shit. We can just ride with this Archmage for as long as possible. And I suppose at this point, you get the point. Archmage is super OP. Let's skip to the juicy bits. And you know what? We'll do exactly that. And you also know what? We're gonna skip over to the live commentary portion because I didn't actually forget to record the entire game. I just remembered at the tail end of it, so I guess I'll show you parts of that. Starting off from round 94. So that's gonna do it for this post commentary. But I'll see you guys live at the other side. The Archmage might not be enough. And before anybody mentions get a 520, I am 99% sure that's not going to work. Also, as for the 5th year Phoenix, I cannot afford it. Or I can maybe, but you know what? Yeah, just because people are gonna ask, no matter what, even if it's the worst upgrade in the world that does 0 damage, 0 popping power, there are always going to be people who ask, why did you not use this? So I guess in that case, it's better to do every combination of towers. So at this point, let's get a 520 instead of a 501. Just for those of you who are saying to get a 520 instead of a 501, here's what's gonna happen. I mean, it's a win-win for me, because if we beat this, then hooray, we beat the level, but if I don't, then proved all the haters wrong. Actually, you know what? You guys might have proved me wrong, actually. Again, it's a win-win for me. I may have lost the moral battle, but I don't care, man. We've beaten 94, and I don't know how. Anyways, we've at least tied the heli, and I think 95 is the end. I mean, somebody tell me what the hell am I going to do against these purples? Like, how in the hell do you expect me to beat 30 DDTs like this? With all these Purple Bloons, I just don't see it. I really don't. You also have to note that I have to pop all the purples as well before the DDTs come. Like right now. Alright, let's sell it and get a quick 501. I think in this case 501 is better than 520. Just because you want more pierce and damage. I'm gonna be really impressed if this Archmage can solo 95. I really will, but this is a lot of cerams. So with that said, yeah, probably not possible. Considering 94 was already that close. Back home. Before anybody tells me to get a Phoenix, there is an initial cooldown, so I can't get it right away. So if I bought it right now, it would not come off cooldown in time. So please don't suggest that, because it's not going to work, okay? With that said, I'm just going to try it anyways, even though I know it's not going to work. Just for you guys. Okay, play the round. We'll get the Phoenix immediately. We'll see if it comes off cooldown before these purples exit. Because if it doesn't, then that's GG. And yeah, there's your answer. Initial cooldown too damn high. Alright, and here's the 520 of course. Once again to show you that it's not gonna work. So we'll just let the balloons leak. Just look at this round. How do you expect one tower to beat it? I don't know. You asked the monkey ace. That's the only way you beat it so far.